Okay. Habari ya asubuhi? Sasa naona tunaeleanwa. Ni kweli? Ni kweli? Tumekunywa chai? Are we happy? Okay, I tell you, you're blessed, you're privileged. I'm excited every morning when I come here because I see a highly favored group of leaders. Do you know why? When I was your age, I did not know, I never met a professor. I'd never had such people speak to me. And you're so privileged. You're already at the university before you're at the university. How can you imagine how good that is? So our next guest is actually our host. So yesterday, the people that were talking about Kenyatta University being their dream university, we have our host here today. So I want you to listen keenly and carefully and aggressively. Do you remember about active and aggressive listening? No murmuring, no going out. Are we clear? If I see you murmuring and going out, remember what the camera does? Yes, the camera will see you before I see you. So let's be attentive. Let's give our hosts our ears. Let's reflect as we listen. He's going to speak to us of the expectations a university has of us, scholars. He's going to guide us. He's going to give us some tips on how we transition from, or what is expected of us as we transition from secondary school to university. So can we put our hands together for Professor Wainaina? I didn't hear the clap. I only saw hands. Can we clap again? Thank you very much, Professor Wainaina, the Vice Chancellor of Kenyatta University. Karibu sana.
Good morning, scholars. Good morning. As you have heard, jina langu ni Wainaina. Mimi naitwa Wainaina, and I'm your host. I know you all come from various schools. As the Vice Chancellor, my role is just what you have as the principal of your college, principal of your school. In other words, Vice Chancellor ni mtu wa mkono katika university. He takes care of procedures, making sure that the programs are running, and also teaches his area of specialization. Kwa hivyo, I teach philosophy. I've been teaching for almost 30 years. I have taught in Kenya, I have taught in South Africa, I have taught in Canada, and eventually I'm here. I've been here for 15 years, and I think as somebody who has been managing and teaching, I thought that even if I'm not your age, I have a few things that I can share with you. I also want to declare that my home is Nakuru. I come from Solai. Those who have come from Rift Valley, that is my home. So I'm here to share just a few things about how you people probably need to conduct yourself when you are in school, particularly when you think about what you want to do. First of all, I want to say I may repeat some things. I know Professor Okumu was here. Professor Okumu, he must have been here yesterday morning. Professor Okumu is the person in charge of all the academic programs in the university. So he may have said some things that I'm going to say. The other thing, of course, is that my boss was here, Professor Magoha. Again, he's a colleague, he's a professor, and now as the leader of the education sector, he may have actually said some things that I'm going to say. So I apologize if I'm going to say a few things that have already been said. Probably that will indicate that these things are very important. Now, before I do that, I want really to acknowledge Dr. Mwangi, who is the leader of Equity, for coming up with the Wings to Fly program. MasterCard and Equity are actually the people who has made it possible for us to be here. It has made it for you to be able even to take schooling where you are. So I want to take this opportunity to actually appreciate what Equity, what MasterCard has actually contributed. Of course, the Equity staff who are basically manning this program, but also the teachers and the people who have been working with you in the schools, and lastly and not least, you, the scholars, the young scholars. I'm sure you are enjoying yourself. You are getting a lot of support, and therefore, we appreciate, we don't take it for granted for coming to Kenyatta University to hear what actually you need to understand before you continue with your life. But also our people, Kenyatta University, who have prepared this hall, who have prepared everything that we are doing, the program, after we received word that Equity wants to use amphitheater. Professor Mbunyi and his colleagues have made it possible for us. So I think the other thing I want to say is this. Probably the things I'm going to verbalize are not as important as the things that you are going to ask. So I'll leave a big chunk of this event to you to ask questions regarding our programs, regarding what is expected of you at the university, and also what we have to offer as Kenyatta University. Remember, the admissions for this year, those who did their exams last year, were released yesterday, and Kenyatta University received 5,200 students who are going to come here for various programs. So it is very fitting that I'm talking to you when we have already received our quota of students through JAMB, through our COOPs, and this is 5,200 plus. I think those are some of the things I wanted to say before we start. Now, I know you are here, over 3,500 young scholars. And we know that the theme of this exercise, this event, is Foundation on Integrity as an Anchor for Academic Excellence. Through this Congress, you will learn how to position yourself in the exciting and competitive world of scholarship that requires a well-calibrated campus to navigate. This campus may relate to ethical, academic leadership, emotional, financial, and health issues. You are not here just to know about the academic programs. We are saying you are here to try and understand how the academic programs that are so important for you are going to be managed, are going to be enhanced by looking at other things, financial, emotional, and health issues. Our chief guest, allow me now to address myself to the young scholars. As a beneficiary of this life opportunity under the Wings to Fly program, you are a fortunate few who have been given a chance to transform from class leaders to world-class leaders. What we are saying here is that you have been chosen. You are privileged. There are many who would have liked to come here, but they are not here. So I think ours is to urge you not to take this for granted. You shall have a chance to become the next generation of much-needed transformative leaders to spearhead national, rational, and regional and global leadership. For this transformation to be realized, you will be required to successfully manage the transition from secondary to post-secondary education. Typically, people therefore not be first in your life, but like the others before those, you will have some negative aspect. Life is not that smooth. So you are here because we need to point out some of the issues that may befall you. Just a few career advice, because this is actually what you need when you are here. First of all, it's about your success. You are all looking forward. I'm told you are in Form 3 and Form 4. So the expectation is that after 1 year or 2 years, you are expected to join universities. You are all looking forward to joining university. And I think for me, the Equity Group that actually tried to come up with this event is very, very important. The Congress is so important because you are at a time, you are at a period when you can actually make up your mind, when you can improve, when you can make your choices. You have 1 year or you have 2 years. What do you want to do when you go to university? But besides that, even before you decide what you want to do, you have to make it to university in general. In other words, you must be able to make the mark. You must be able to have the above cut point. And therefore, what do you need to do? Obviously, some of the things I'm going to say here have been said. And one of these is that really you have to organize yourself. As a person, you need to organize yourself. You need actually to decide, probably I want to do medicine. Probably I want to do law, or I want to do architecture. So for me to do that, first of all, is to make it to the university. Just that, C+. But remember, if you go to university with a C+, the chances of getting what you want to do are very few. Universities are attracting A's and B's. And therefore, first of all, can I make it to the university? And therefore, you need to make sure that you are disciplined, you know exactly what is required. If you want to do engineering, what are the subjects that are important? You have to pass in general, you have to have an A or you have to have a B, but within the cluster, the subjects that are important for you to do law, for you to do education, for you to do pharmacy, what are these subjects? And therefore, you put more effort in those time that you can make up your mind, and you make up your mind because you are well informed. So it is important that you identify clearly what you want to do. Or if you want to do architecture, maybe you don't have the potential for those subjects. You are not doing very well in those subjects. So it is very, very important that you are also realistic. If you are not doing very well in some of those subjects that are required if you want to do pharmacy, then I think it is good to be realistic and also get yourself in those subjects that you feel that you have a very good potential. Again, it is not only important for you to choose what you are doing well. Do you have a passion? If you are going to be an engineer, is it something that actually you have a passion for? Because you can do very well, but maybe your inclination, your characteristic, your character may not be good for you to become an architect or a doctor. So again, what you like to do, because when you choose a career, that is what you are going to do for life, and it must be interesting to you. So it is important that after you have identified what you want to do, then you put a lot of work, hard work, and also it must be something that you'd want to do in life. It is not something that you are doing because maybe it is well paying. It is something that you want to do. Are you a person who likes serving people? Or are you a person who actually very outgoing? Enjoy that. I have said personal discipline after you have done that is so important. Vile unataka kufanya qualitative type of time that you normally want to do. Then the other thing is, who are your mentors? Who are your role models? I think it is also important to have people you look up to, people who help you, people who have done well. It is not just very important for you to emulate them. You need to know what they went through. So I think it is important to have the background of people you are emulating. And you find that all those people may have worked very hard. There may have been so many adversities, and they were able to overcome. So it is important to know wherever these people are, whatever they have done, there is a history behind. The background is very important. I told you I have taught in very many countries. I have gone to school myself, my PhD outside, and some of the things that were a hindrance, what did I have to overcome? And you find that whoever you are emulating must have gone. It is important that actually you try to have the background. Those people who have done well, what actually have they gone through? It is not smooth sailing, you understand that. You realize that it is very, very important. These are people who just worked hard. And actually, when you have been chosen, I know most of you had a lot of problems, financial problems, and other problems. And now that you are here, I think you are privileged, but you cannot forget what you went through. Even when you succeed, you cannot forget what you went through. Now, I think the other thing I want to point out to you is that although you are here because you want to be a doctor later, you want to be an engineer, you want to be an architect, you want to be a professor, it is also important to understand that you can do very well. You can have A's, you can have B's, you can be at the top of your class. But that in itself, just that alone, will not actually help you to lead a good life. And I think if there is something that you have to take from me, is that you can excel, you can do very well, you can get A's, you can be a good scholar, but that will not make you have a good life. What will make you have a good life is also the other aspect of you. Being a person who cares about living in a society. There are certain things that we need. There are certain skills that we need to be able to lead a good life in a society. So we are saying that is also something that needs to be cultivated, and your teachers have been trying to do that when and where you have gone to school. In your primary school, in your secondary school, and again when you come here. Because one of the things that we have been struggling with, I don't know whether you have ever asked yourself, now, what makes a good life? What is a good life? Can somebody maybe describe a good life for me? A good life. Can somebody attempt? What makes a good life? Yes. I want somebody to try. Somebody to try, please. A good life. I'm waiting.
Good morning.
Yes.
My name is Amne from Senior Chief Koinange Kiambu. A good life is a life where there is love, peace, and unity. Thank you.
Yes. A good life is where there's love. What else? Yes. But you have not talked about where you have an A, where you have excelled. You are here, you want to be a doctor, you want to, what is happening? A good life. A good life is actually when you succeed in what you want to do, but you are also comfortable in staying and living with others. You cannot live well if you don't care for other people. There are certain things that can tell you that we are all social beings. Even the word like integrity, even the words like fairness. If you are living alone, imagine a situation where you are all by yourself. Would you need integrity? Would you need integrity? I don't know whether you can see this. If you are living alone, would you need to have integrity? Would you need fairness? Fairness to who? If you are alone, fairness to who? Imagine also living alone. Would you even actually need a language? If you are living alone, just go back and think of a situation where you are all by yourself. Would you need a language? No, because to communicate to who? So what we are really saying, young scholars, is that there is other things that are important in your life if you are going to lead a good life. And this is where we are talking about values. One of the things that probably we need to understand, we may not be able to do it here, is that at least the society has got at least a meaning of what it means to be enjoying a good life. The society has at least a definition, a concept of a good life. The society also expects you to do certain things. And this is why we have rules and regulations. And therefore, what we are saying is that as you pursue your goals to be a doctor, you are also trying to pursue other things that we have to help you actually to gain. You need to embrace the social values within your community. The issue of telling the truth, the issue of loving each other, the issue of actually, thinking about others, because they can also think about you. We have talked about freedom. We have said it is important for you to be free to do certain things. But remember, that freedom has a boundary. If you are doing something that is going to hurt your friend, if you are doing something that is going to be hurting your society, then that is not freedom. Freedom, your individual freedom, is where other people's freedom are. Therefore, as you go through the university, as you go through the school, you need also to acquire those values. You need to be able to live with others, and therefore, universities that you are going to join are not going to be universities where the only thing that you learn is chemistry, mathematics, or history, or education. We also have other things to make sure that what we produce is holistic. We provide holistic education. For example, in Kenyatta University, we make sure that that other aspect where we are training you to become a member of the society are taken very, very, very seriously. We have various programs. For example, we have mentorship program. The mentorship program is supposed to make sure that when you come, you have some seniors who have experienced some of the things you are experiencing for the first time, and they can actually help you to steer through the educational system, through the university system. They need to let you know when you come here, what are some of the things that you need to care about. So we have a mentorship program to take care of that. The other thing we have is leadership programs. And this is a program that if you join Kenyatta University, you go through your programs, if you came for law, but in your 4th year, we ask you to take a program on leadership. That programs help you to be able to navigate when you go out. This is a program for all the 4th year students, and this is important. When you go, university has the other activity is the top university in terms of sports, and we would like when you come, when you join Kenyatta University, try to make sure that you are not just a bookworm. You are able to actually join sports and games, not necessarily so that you can win, but to make sure that you have a social life. It is through sports, it is through other activities that are social that will make you a holistic person when you go out there. In Kenyatta University, again, we have what we call career directorate. We have a directorate that actually makes sure that when you come to university, they are able to take you through and make you understand what is possible for you and what you need to do. So if you have ambition in doing certain things, then you go to that office, they will actually have some people to mentor you. We also have in that office the director who actually invites various firms, various people from different firms who are able to come and talk to you in terms of what they are doing. For example, maybe somebody is working in the bank. He's the CEO of a certain bank, and he would like to share certain things with you. So that is another area where we are saying the other important program for us, and that should also be in other universities, is that when you actually apply to Kenyatta University to do law, to do education, to do economics, when you come here, probably you have other talents which may not be within your program. You have some unique talents. We have a directorate, we have a center which we call Chadaria Innovation Center, where you can apply. You can say, I have this talent, and can I be assisted in terms of developing it? We look at what idea you have. We discuss it. If we think it's something that is actually potential for you to innovate something, then we give you a place where, a space where you can work. We give you some capital, and we ask you to develop. We give you also somebody to mentor you, and you are able to actually develop your unique talent as you continue with your program that brought you here. So it is important, if you come to Kenyatta University, to actually look for that office if you think there is something that can be nurtured and it is not within your program. So right now, we have so many students who are doing very great things. They have done, they have even come up with some applications in ICT, which they are using, and actually they are making money as they go to school. So what we are saying is that when you come to a university, make sure that you take advantage of some of the programs that are going to make you a holistic person when you leave. Not just an engineer, not just an architect, not just a dental surgeon, but also a good human being and somebody who can actually be able to serve himself, herself, and also serve society. So I think those are some of the programs which actually will help you to become a holistic person when you leave university. So what we are really saying here, and I want to repeat this, is that it is important for you to understand when you come for a program, very specific, for the universities, we are interested to make you a holistic person. And we are saying, when you come to university, there are two types of programs. There are those programs that we call academic, chemistry, mathematics, economics. All these are actually in the area of academic excellence. But there is another area that we are calling the social aspect of you as a scholar. And these are also very important. We want you to understand you have to live in a society, you have to emulate some of the ideas, you have also to adhere to some of the societal values for you to be able actually to navigate yourself and become an important person to yourself, to your family, and also to the community. Now, through experience, we know and we have seen that when students come here, even after we have talked to you, even after other people have talked to you, teachers in your primary, teachers in your secondary, we still have a situation where a few of you are going to go astray at the university. We already know, and this is realistic. Right now, we are battling with the, drug abuse. And I think it is important for us to talk about it. The thing is, if you don't identify a problem, then you will not be able even to tackle it. We have that problem. It is also a problem at the university. And us as Kenyatta University, we have been dealing with that. And when you come here, if you identify people who are trying to befriend you, who are trying to, show you how the university is and what you need to do, and then eventually they sell you drugs, I think this is one of the most critical stage in your life when you need to say no. You need to say no to drugs, and if probably you are hooked, then Kenyatta University also have a center, a counseling, we call it a Directorate of Counseling and Wellness Center. This is again something there. I'm saying that because actually committed suicide just last Saturday. And this is somebody who had actually been admitted to Kenyatta University for the program of, medicine. He had done 4th year, 5th year. Yes, he was in his 6th year. So what I'm saying, we have to be realistic. He has been battling with a problem. We had all those facilities, but he did not consult anybody. He was doing very well, actually. He was passing all his examinations. But that area, the area I'm talking about, the social aspect of you must also be taken care of. So this is realistic, and we are saying when you come here, try to take advantage of the facilities that we have to make sure that you don't get yourself into problems. So for me, in a nutshell, so that we have more time for you to ask questions, I'm saying universities are areas of actually institutions that should help you to make a career by making sure that they give you the top flight programs, quality programs, but they also responsible citizen of this country. And therefore, we have to offer the other aspect in order to enhance your careers. We are saying enough to make a good life. It is taking architecture, taking education, taking engineering, taking law, and also being able to actually understand the social values that guides you within the community. So I want to add there and say you are privileged, and I want to thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you.